Om. 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 Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Satgurum Tam Namami श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
Dr. Ramra, you want to read the sloka for the chapter 18? Then
Yes,
we do the reading?
we'll do a little bit of Gita Dhyana shlokas and then we'll do this.
Oh, you want the dhyana?
No, I can do it out of memory. No need to share that. Yeah,
Okay.
unless...
I can put the dhyana sloka if you want.
Okay. Yeah, you can put the Dhyanam shlok, Gita Dhyana shlokas. ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणी भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्रः येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दुग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोक्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनधी कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलम् गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटम् नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितम् लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरहः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद् भारतपङ्कजं कलिमल प्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः।
The 18th chapter now?
Yes.
Okay. What is that?
Before Dr. Mara can share chapter 18, just would like to take this opportunity. Today is Swami Chinmayananda's 108th birth centenary. So, all gratitude to this great master who has brought down this Gita Jnana Ganga down from, for the current century. So, can I request Bela to sing that beautiful the chant, that is the beautiful song in honor of Swami Chinmayananda, if you remember the lyrics, either now or towards the end of the session.
Yeah, I can sing now, Ramraji. Whatever I remember, I can sing.
Yeah,
Kindly
please go ahead.
forgive me.
Please go ahead.
गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा मेरे जीवन का अवलंबन है बस एक यही मेरा वर है गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा पग पग पल पल जीवन पथ पर पग पग पल पल जीवन पथ पर गुरु साथ मेरे रक्षक बनकर गुरु साथ मेरे रक्षक बनकर बिसरूं ना कभी तव महनीय कृपा बिसरूं ना कभी तव भवनीय कृपा गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा संशय से भरे अज्ञान भरे संशय से भरे अज्ञान भरे संशय से भरे विपरीत विचारों से भी भरे तव बोध कृपा गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा हरि ओम क्षम्यताम् I forgot one line.
Thank you very much for that beautiful rendering. Um, yeah. Om Shri Krishna Paramatmane Namaha. अथ श्रीमद् भगवद् गीता अष्टादशोऽध्यायः मोक्षसंन्यासयोगः अर्जुन उवाच सन्न्यासस्य महाबाहो तत्त्वमिच्छामि वेदितुं त्यागस्य च हृषीकेश पृथक् केशिनिषूदन श्रीभगवानुवाच काम्यानां कर्मणां न्यासं सन्न्यासं कवयो विदुः Oh, I think it's moving up and down. Yeah. Can you bring the page down a bit? श्रीभगवानुवाच काम्यानां कर्मणां न्यासं सन्न्यासं कवयो विदुः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं प्राहुस्त्यागं विचक्षणाः Yeah, I think we'll do these two verses today. Belaji, do you want to do the Pratipadartha? You can actually chant the verses from now on. You can do the Pratipadartha, and Dr. Mara would like to chant to read the text, she said.
Okay, Brahmadaji.
Thank you.
धन्यवाद.
Shall I read the introduction as we go along with the sloka? Then you can read it, Balaji, that way.
Yeah, you can do
right?
that.
Okay.
You can do that.
That's good. All right. So this is the introduction. We'll go with the introduction and go from there. Okay. Chapter 18, Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. Introduction. This last chapter is a long chapter. Though nothing new is said, there is some additional elaboration of the various topics already unfolded in the Gita Sastra. Therefore, introducing the 18th chapter, Shankara says, summing up the meaning of the whole Gita Sastra in this chapter. The meaning of the Vedas has to be told. Only for this purpose, this chapter is begun. The subject matter of the Vedas is the subject matter of the Gita Sastra. So the subject matter of the Vedas is the subject matter of the Gita Sastra, which is twofold, Brahma Vidya and Yoga Sastra. Brahma Vidya is the understanding of the Mahavakya, Tattvam Asi, which reveals the identity of the Jiva. So Brahma Vidya is the understanding of the Mahavakya, Tattvamasi, which reveals the identity of the Jiva, the individual, and Ishvara, the Lord. And Yoga Sastra is the means of preparing the individual for Brahma Vidya. Thus, yoga includes any karma that is in keeping with dharma and done with a proper attitude, with devotion, bhakti. It also includes a life of renunciation, sannyasa. So I'll read this paragraph one more time. Introduction. This last chapter is a long chapter. Though nothing new is said, there is some additional elaboration of the various topics already unfolded in the Gita Sastra. Therefore, introducing the 18th chapter, Shankara says, summing up the meaning of the whole Gita Sastra in this chapter, the meaning of the Vedas has to be told. Only for this purpose, this chapter is begun. The subject matter of the Vedas is the subject matter of the Gita Sastra, which is twofold, Brahma Vidya and Yoga Sastra. Brahma Vidya is the understanding of the Mahavakya, Tattvamasi, which reveals the identity of the Jiva, the individual, and Ishvara, the Lord. And Yoga Sastra is the means of preparing the individual for Brahma Vidya. Thus, yoga includes any karma that is in keeping with dharma. Any karma that is keeping with dharma and done with proper attitude, with devotion, bhakti. So the yoga includes any karma that is in keeping with dharma and done with proper attitude, with devotion, bhakti. It also includes a life of renunciation, sannyasa. We have seen that there are two lifestyles mentioned for the pursuit of moksha. One is sannyasa, a life of renunciation. The other is a life of karma, activity. This life of activity, however, cannot be a means for moksha if it is not attended by a proper attitude. While everybody does karma, if it is to pave the way for moksha, it has to be done with the attitude of karma yoga. This attitude, bhakti, and appreciation of Ishvara with a commitment to moksha has to be there not only for the karma yogi but also for the sannyasi. So I'll read this paragraph again. We have seen that there are two lifestyles mentioned for the pursuit of moksha. One is sannyasa, a life of renunciation. The other is a life of karma, activity. This life of activity, however, cannot be a means for moksha if it is not attended by a proper attitude. While everybody does karma, If it is to pave the way for moksha, it has to be done with the attitude of karma yoga. This attitude, bhakti, an appreciation of Ishvara with a commitment to moksha, has to be there. Not only for the karma yogi, but also for the sannyasi. So that attitude is for both karma yogi as well as sannyasi. Even a person who is doing karma purely as a result would offer a prayer to the Lord asking for that result. He also has bhakti. Devotion is common to anyone who recognizes Ishvara. But then, if moksha is not the end in view, Ishvara is made into an accomplice for your ordinary exploits. If you want to gain some money or power, you ask God also to chip in a little bit. Though the prayer is directed towards Ishvara, Ishvara is not the aim of that prayer. In this situation, we understand that there is a confusion with reference to Purushartha. Artha, security, and Kama, pleasure, become so important that naturally you require Ishvara's help to accomplish them. About this type of devotion, Krishna had said, Mama Vartma, Mama Vartma, Anuvartante Manushyaha Partha Sarvashaha. Kangshantaha Karmanam Siddhim Yajanta Iha Devataha. Shiparam hi Manushe Loke Siddhir Bhavati Karmaja. This is in Karma Yoga, which we can paraphrase as people are following me. Following me alone. Wait. This is the next page, right? But they didn't know it. Okay. Didn't have the page on it. Okay. But they don't know it, and therefore they invoke other devatas to get some small results in this world. Therefore, they invoke other devata to get some small results in this world. Thus, we have a devotee in distress, Artha. So that this one to get small results in this world is Gita 4, 11, and 12. I should get my Gita book. Okay, anyway, I don't have it right now. So, thus we have a devotee in distress, Artha, who, whenever he is in trouble, raises his hands and says, "Oh Bhagavan, please help me. Where are you?" Then there is a devotee who uses Ishvara's grace as a means for accomplishing what he wants, the Artharthi. Between the cup and the lip, there are many slits, and he wants to make sure he has the Lord's grace so that there are no slips. There is nothing wrong with either of this, but then we have a third bhakta who does not want something from Ishvara. He wants Ishvara. He is a mumukshu, and therefore a karma yogi. Is not simply someone who wants to accomplish. He wants to be free, and for that he wants to know. What he wants to know is his identity with Ishvara, and therefore he is also a bhakta. For the same reason, the sannyasi also is a bhakta. There is no separate bhakti yoga. Do you want me to read this paragraph again? I think I had to go to this 2-page. So, even a person, I'm going to read this paragraph one more time. Even a person who is doing a karma purely for a result would offer a prayer to the Lord asking for that result. He also has bhakti. Devotion is common to anyone who recognizes Ishvara. But then, if moksha is not the end in view, Ishvara is made into an accomplice for your ordinary exploits. If you want to gain some money or power, you ask God also to chip in a little bit. Though the prayer is directed towards Ishvara, Ishvara is not the aim of that prayer. In this situation, we understand that there is a confusion with reference to Purushartha. So, though the prayer is directed towards Ishvara, Ishvara is not the aim of that prayer. In this situation, we understand that there is a confusion with reference to Purushartha. Artha, security, and kama, pleasure, become so important that naturally you require Ishvara's help to accomplish them. About this type of devotion, Krishna had said, Mama Vartma Anuvartante Manushyaha Partha Sarvasaha Kangshantaha Karmanam Siddhim Yajanta Yega Devataha Shiparam Hi Manushya Loke Siddhi Bhavatu Karmaja, which we can paraphrase as people are all following me. People are all following me alone, but they don't know it. And therefore, they invoke other devatas to get some small results in this world. Thus, we have a devotee in distress, Artha, who, whenever he is in trouble, raises his hands and says, Oh Bhagavan, please help me. Where are you? Then there is a devotee who uses Ishvara's grace as a means for accomplishing what he wants. That's about Artha. The Artha, between the cup and the lip, there are many slips. And he wants to make sure he has the Lord's grace so that there are no slips. There is nothing wrong with either of this, but then we have a third bhakta who does not want something from Ishvara. He wants Ishvara. He is a mumukshu and therefore a karma yogi. He is not simply someone who wants to accomplish. He wants to be free for that. Free, and for that he wants to know. What he wants to know is his identity with Ishvara. And therefore he is also a bhakta. For the same reason, the sannyasi also is a bhakta. There is no separate bhakti yoga. So, before I proceed further, do you guys want to go further, or we keep reading, or you want to review any of it? Okay, I'll read. The sannyasi is absolved from the obligatory duties which the Vedas enjoin a person to perform when he takes the vow of sannyasa. He completely frees himself from all obligatory duties in order to pursue knowledge to the exclusion of everything else. The karma yogi retains his obligatory duties but gives up all actions that are meant to produce some punya. So I'll go back again. The sannyasi is absolved from the obligatory duties which the Vedas enjoin a person to perform when he takes the vow of sannyasa. He completely frees himself from the obligatory duties in order to pursue knowledge to the exclusion of everything else. The karma yogi retains his obligatory duties but gives up all actions that are meant to produce some punya or something because of which he will be more secure. He has seen through all that and therefore does only the things that are to be done with the proper attitude while pursuing knowledge. The sannyasi has no duties to perform. The karma yogi has only duties to perform. There is no third person called a bhakti yogi. If there is, does he do karma or not? If not, he becomes a sannyasi. If he does, he is a karma yogi. Whether it is a ritual, a puja, or even meditation, it is still an action, and the one who is doing it is a devotee, bhakta. The same actions that are done for the gain of a security or pleasure can be done for antakarna shuddhi. If they are done for the sake of getting small results, that is also karma, but it cannot be called yoga because the purushartha is very limited. In any case, whether he is a karmi or a karma yogi, he is a bhakta. Only two types of commitment, nishtas, a karma yoga and sannyasa, are pointed out in the Gita Sastra. Karma yoga includes the exact karma that one must do and the attitude with which one has to do it. Other disciplines like meditation, upasana, gaining a value structure, including amanitvadi qualities, puja, etc., are all included in Karma Yoga. If you analyze all the 18 chapters, you will find that neither Karma Yoga nor Sannyasa is predominantly emphasized over the other. Both occupy sufficient space in the Gita format to indicate that Gita Charya recognizes the importance of both as the means for moksha. Karma is also mentioned in the Karma Kanda of the Vedas in the form of injunctions to perform specific rituals like Agnishtoma. Agnishtoma. A Brahmana should perform Agnishtoma ritual. Brahmanena Agnistomena Yagjata. It is said. For what purpose? It can be for heaven, Swarga, or for Antakarana Shuddhi. Therefore, the Karma Kanda is not just for a person who wants limited ends, a kami. It can be meant as, did I do this one? Okay. Has no yoga. Sanyasastu mahabaho dukkhamaptum ayogataha. While if you have karma yoga, it is easy. Yoga yukto munir brahma na chirena adhigacchati.
Nachirenadi gacchati.
Achirena, okay, right.
Yeah.
Nachirena
Nadi gacchati.
adhigacchati. Adhigacchati. Okay. Nachirena adhigacchati. Okay. Then Krishna again talks about sannyasa. Let me read that one line because it's kind of okay. Therefore, the karma kanda is not just for a person who wants the limited ends, a kami. It can be meant didn't correct with this, right?
That is 170 page number, Dr. Mara. I think this is 172. 170 page is there.
Let me see. I don't know why this is not coming. Yeah, got it. Okay. So, even for a mumukshu, and therefore it is not completely dismissed as useless. But the karma done should be used as a yoga. That is the emphasis. So, I think we have like 5 pages. Shall I read through the whole thing, or you guys wanted to read anything before this one? Okay. So it can be meant. It can be meant even for a mumukshu, and therefore it is not completely dismissed as useless, but the karma done should be used as a yoga. That is the emphasis. A bird's eye view of Arjuna's questions.
Yeah, maybe before we go to this bird's eye view, we can just sum up what we have listened to right now with respect to the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita, right?
Right. So basically, it reviewed the what is this Gita Shastra trying to tell us, right? So it is as equal to Veda, and then it says it's supposed to, it is Brahma Vidya as well as Yoga Shastra. So what is Brahma Vidya? That is he explained what is Brahma Vidya, like that Mahavakya Tattvamasi, it's trying to say who the Jiva as well as the Ishvara. And then whereas Yoga Shastra, how we should gain this Brahma Vidya through the Yoga Shastra, which is the meditation, and you do it with the attitude, devotion, and that is the Yoga Shastra. And there are 2 kinds, right? Like which is Karma Yoga part and the Sannyasa. That he's trying to explain that in the last few paragraphs.
Yeah. Very nicely summarized. So, Karma Yoga, there are 2 aspects to Bhagavad Gita. One is the Brahma Vidya and then Yoga Shastra. So, Yoga Shastra, the purpose of Yoga Shastra is to get to the Brahma Vidya. So, what all qualifies as yoga here is all those actions that is done with an attitude of devotion, not with an attitude of accruing some punya. If you look at the Karma Kanda aspect of the Vedas, the Karma Kanda can be used by, there are 4 types of devotees. Arti, Artharti, Jignasu and Jnani, right? So, it can be used. I mean, you can use Ishvara, you can have bhakti, a lot of bhakti, but then the end goal is for you to get some security in the world, some money, some wealth, fame, whatever. But if that bhakti is directed towards getting antakarna shuddhi and actually towards moksha, the only goal one has is that of attaining moksha, then he becomes a karma yogi. And this karma kanda aspect of Vedas can be used for both It is, you cannot completely denounce it. So here that get the clarity that, why Gurudev continues to do these homas and pujas and all that. It is not with a limited end in mind, some end and in the world, but it is for loka kalyanartham, and it is for keeping moksha ultimately as the end, as a process of cleansing. So there are no three things here. There is no jnani, karma yogi, and bhakti yogi. A karma yogi bhakti is included uh, in the qualities of a karma yogi. So, and then there are two lifestyles, the sannyasi and the karma yogi. Sannyasi is absolved of all the obligatory duties, all those nitya karma, naimitika karma, prayaschitta karma, all that he is absolved of. He pursues only Brahma Vidya to the exclusion of all else. Whereas a karma yogi continues to do his actions in the world, but with an attitude of Ishwararpana Buddhi. He has the bhakti, and his goal is again moksha. Moksha is the ultimate priority for him. So therefore a karma yogi is one who drops all his kamya karma. Kamya karma is, I'm doing this puja for this gain, for that gain, for this security, that security. That is dropped. I'm just doing it as a process of, even that attitude of cleansing. You're doing it just because you have to do it. Yeah, anybody else wants to share before we go forward?
Jignasu is just wants to know, is curious, is it?
Come again? I didn't hear.
Jignasu is the one who is just curious to know things, is it? Arthi, Artharthi, Jignasu, and Mumukshu. Who is the Jignasu?
Jignasu is one who is pursuing knowledge. It's not just out of curiosity, but it's out of sincerity that he wants to pursue knowledge, no?
But his end goal may or may not be moksha. Or
no, Jignasu also like a seeker for the knowledge.
Jignasu is also a seeker of knowledge.
Yeah.
Seeker of knowledge. But then why there is a difference between the Mumukshu and Jignasu? That's what is because here these three are mentioned, but Jignasu is not mentioned. And it's okay, no problem.
Dr. Mara, can you just go back to that place where Jignasu is mentioned?
Here, it is not mentioned. Looks like it is only Arthi, Artharthi, and Mumukshu.
Yeah.
Jignasu is not mentioned.
Jignasu, I think Jignasu is considered a mumukshu. He is pursuing knowledge in order to gain moksha.
Okay.
Whereas the fourth category, Jnani, is actually considered a bhakta, but he is equal to Ishvara. Equated to Ishvara. He's already
realized person.
Realized. So Jignasu is of course a mumukshu.
Okay.
It's not just out of curiosity that he wants to pursue knowledge. No.
Yeah. Actually, it will come later in the 18th chapter about Jignasu a little bit more, but it's in the same context only, like a seeker of knowledge. And this basically here they explain the third bhakta is the mumukshu, or you can say Jignasu does not want something from Ishvara, like you're not looking for some reward or result
He
to
wants
happen.
Ishvara.
Yeah, he doesn't want anything from Ishvara, but he wants, Ishvara that to, attain moksha. That is basically uniting with Ishvara. He's not simply someone who wants to accomplish, he wants to be free, and for that he wants to know. So that's he wants to know his identity with Ishvara. Therefore, he is also a bhakta. For the same reason, sannyasi also a bhakta. There is no separate bhakti yoga. So they actually they explained about, not third category, like whoever doing bhakti, they the bhakti is common to all of them, like karma yogi or sannyasi, everybody, have to do it with a devotion to Ishvara. So
And
that was
Jnani is a Jivan Mukta.
Right.
Is it?
Yeah. Jnani
Yeah,
is
Hari. Yeah.
who already attained knowledge, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, Gnani to Bhagwan hi hai. He says it, he is me only. That's what he confirmed.
Okay.
Nani tu me matam. He's mentioned that several times. So he's mentioned, yeah.
Thank you.
This sloka, I mean, I have the Tamil book, I don't know, you can make of it. The sloka number 411, which is mentioned here, that they invoke other devatas, a karma kanda, right? Ye yata mam prapatyante tantatai vaibhajam yaham. Mama vartamanu vartante manushya partha sarvashaka. Imam prapatyante tam sataiva pajamyagam. Mama vartamanu vartante manushya partha sarvashaka. So that is that 411, and then 412 is Kangshanta karmanam siddhim yajan
Kangshantah
karmanam siddhim yajante iha devata shiprim hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. So that is trying to explain to surrender to him, right? Like, so he gives that pala, like like punya or papa pala, based on their uh, that's what they were trying to talk about it. I think, you even though you invoke other devatas, eventually it comes to me or something like that, he says, right? But those two verses basically explaining when they worship gods for their own uh, like pala, meaning like looking for some end to achieve, that that's usually what happens, but that's a limited end, but then still they get that pala. That's what that I had to get the other book to read it. Okay. Anybody else? Please share your your
Yeah, very
understanding.
beautifully. Swamiji has very beautifully summarized the life of a grihasthi as a karma yogi can still live. By living in sansara, he can become, it is not necessary that he can become sannyasi by wearing the orange robe. He can be a sannyasi even while living in the grihastha ashram also. The only thing required is whatever karma, whatever we are doing, just as a prasad buddhi, if he continues for antakarana shuddhi, rather than asking for the worldly pleasures. And so that's what here it is, he has confirmed so well that both lifestyles are given equal importance, the life of a karma yogi and the life of a sannyasi. So if we do whatever action we have to do with an attitude of whatever offering, it is like when we do the action, if it is as an offering to the Lord, then that will be just the aim for, I mean, that will be a kind of freedom. It will give us the freedom. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Very nice. So the 3 points to remember in Karma Yoga is you are doing it with the attitude of Karma Yoga. And then the attitude is, when we talk about attitude, is that bhakti, that appreciating of Ishvara, an appreciation of Ishvara with the commitment to moksha. Of course, if you are doing it for moksha, that's the commitment. Has to be there, not only for Karma Yogi, but also for sannyasi. So that's main purpose of in pertaining to us like Karma Yogi. So go to bird's eye view. Anyone else, please? Oh, even more. Shall I go further? Okay. A bird's eye view of Arjuna's questions. For what Shankara says in his introduction to the beginning of the 18th chapter. So from what Shankara says in his introduction to the beginning of the 18th chapter, we understand that Lord Krishna seems to have decided to sum up the whole Gita Shastra and the meaning of the Vedas in this chapter. At this point, Arjuna asks a question. He wants to know the difference between sannyasa and tyaga. His asking tells us that he does not see the difference between the two. His asking tells us that he does not see the difference between the two. Which one is sannyasa and tyaga? Look at Arjuna's questions. Originally, in the 3rd chapter, he wanted to know which of the two, sannyasa and karma, is better. Which of the two, sannyasa and karma, is better? If he considered knowledge is better than action, Krishna, why do you enjoin me to do this terrible action? Keshava. Terrible action, Keshava. By these contradictory statements, you seem to confuse my mind. Tell me for certain the one thing by which I will gain liberation. So there are several verses about talking about that liberation, where how many times he asked the question. Gita 3rd chapter 1 and 2, and Gita 4, 1, and then 4th chapter 1, 4, 5, and the 5th chapter 1 and 5. So there are several questions he got. By these contradictory statements, you seem to confuse my mind. Tell me for certain the one thing by which I will gain liberation. So those slokas talk about gaining liberation. In the 4th chapter, his question was entirely different. At the beginning of 4th chapter, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that the knowledge he has just revealed is not anything new. He says that he had himself told it long ago to Vivaswan. This is confusing to Arjuna, and he wants to know how he should understand that Krishna had told Vivaswan at the beginning, since Krishna's birth was after that of Vivaswan. Then Krishna explained that he was not born in the ordinary sense. He created a body for himself out of his own Maya Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. Although, like Arjuna, he has had many births, he knows
Sambhavami Atma Mayaya.
Mayaya. Sorry, okay. Mayaya. Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. Although, like Arjuna, he has had many births. He knows them all very well, while Arjuna does not. The fourth one is this one, 4, 5. Okay. And 4, 1 is the best one. Yeah, first is sloka in the 4th chapter. Then Krishna explained that he was not born in the ordinary sense. He created a body for himself out of his own Maya. Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. Although, like Arjuna, he has had many births, he knows them all very well, while Arjuna does not. After that, he talked further about jnana and praised both jnana and sannyasa. Then, in the last verse, he exhorted Arjuna to get up and take a life of karma yoga. Yogam atishta. Yogam
Uttishta.
atishta uddishta. Right? Atishta uddishta. Arjuna had a problem with this and
Yogam Atishta Uttishta.
Atishta uttishta. Okay.
That's horizontal line. You have to do a little dirgha there.
Oh,
Yogam
dirgha. Okay.
Atishta Uttishta.
Yogam atishta uttishta. Arjuna had a problem with this and said to Krishna at the beginning of the 5th chapter, you are praising both renunciation of action and karma yoga. Please tell me definitely which is better. So this is going on, which one is better? Arjuna does not want both because they are two opposite things. Karma is to be followed, anushtheya, and jnana is something that has to be gained by pramana. Since they are two different pursuits altogether, how can sannyasa and karma yoga be identical? If they are not identical, why are you praising one and asking me to do the other? Then Lord Krishna again talked about sannyasa and karma yoga, saying that what is gained by sannyasi is gained by a karma yogi. Yat shankaihi prapyate sthanam tad yogarapi gamyate. Therefore,
Yat Sankhyair Prapyate Yogam Tad Yogairapi Gamyate.
oh, they don't have any yogam here. Sthanam, this is.
Okay. Yat
Shankyaihi
Sankhyair
prapyate
Prapyate
sthanam.
Sthanam Tad
Tat
Yogairapi
yogairapi gamyate.
Gamyate.
Tat yogairapi gamyate. I'm hoping get to this properly. Yat shankaihi prapyate sthanam tad yogairapi gamyate. Therefore, both of them are one and the same. Ekam sankyam cha yogam cha. But still, sannyasa is difficult to accomplish for the one who. So, therefore, both of them are one and the same. Ekam sankyam cha yogam cha. But still, sannyasa is difficult to accomplish for the one who has no yoga. Sannyasastu mahabaho dukkam aptum ayogataha. While if you have karma yoga, it is easy. Yoga yukto munir brahma nachirena digachati. Then Krishna again talks about sannyasa and karma yoga, defining real sannyasa as not mere renunciation of karma, but renunciation of all actions through knowledge. Jnanena sarva karma sannyasa. Arjuna was silent, but Krishna, knowing that he did not understand, did not leave the topic, pointing out that the one who does the karmas that one has to do under the given circumstances. So, he pointing out that the one who does the karmas that one has to do under the given circumstances without depending upon the results of those actions is truly a sannyasi. He is yogi too. The one who merely gives up the ritualistic karma or secular activities without proper attitude is not really a sannyasi. Anasritaha karma palam karyam karma karotyaha. Sa sannyasi chayohi chana niragni nacha akriyaha. Is this a slow? I mean, probably I'm not reading it correctly. It is probably the verse, I think. Anashritaga karma palam. Karyam karma karotyaha. Sannyasi yachayohi chana niragnihi nacha akriyaha. Akriyaha. After this, he talks about meditation, saying that one should not think of anything else except Atma. Atma samastam manah krutva nakinchit api sintayat, and likens the mind in meditation to an unflickering lamp in a windless place. Yatha deepo nivatasto nengate sopama smrita. Arjuna complains that his mind is nothing but agitation. Sanchalam hi manaha Krishna. He says and considers it to be as difficult to control as the wind. Tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram. Tasyaham
Vayoriva sudushkaram.
Vayoriva, okay. Tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram.
Sudushkaram. It's like so difficult as air, control air.
Control air. Sudushkaram.
Sudushkaram.
Sudushkaram. Oh, okay. Sudushkaram. Okay. Lord Krishna validates his problem, saying that there is no doubt that the agitated mind is difficult to manage. Asamshayam mahabaho mano durnigraham chalam. So, no doubt that the agitated mind is difficult to manage. Asamshayam mahabaho mano durnigraham chalam. And then assures him that it can be handled by practice and by dispassion. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grahyate. Dispassion is nothing but objectivity, appreciating what is what. It is all cognitive. And practice, abhyasa, is nothing but a discipline in the light of an awareness about the mind and its ways of thinking. Then Arjuna had another problem. Suppose a person endowed with the trust in Ishvara starts this pursuit but makes inadequate effort, and his mind wanders away from this yoga, not gaining success in yoga. What would be his lot? What would be his lot? Would he not die away without accomplishing anything. He had denied himself a lot of small worldly pleasures, thinking he was going to get some Paramananda. But suppose he did not gain it, then being denied of both becomes Ubhaya Vibrashta, Ubhaya Vibrashta, and then died away. What would happen? Would he not be like one of those cloudlets that moves away from the larger cloud mass and perishes? A cloud mass is moving slowly, and this cloudlet separates from the mass in order to arrive at the destination quickly. But it dissipates, and this is a nice example, the cloudlet fizzles out. The last one is a large cloud mass is moving slowly, and this cloudlet separates from the mass in order to arrive at the destination quickly. But it dissipates and fizzles out. Is it not the same with this person? He is neither here nor there, so what will happen to him? Lord Krishna answers him with a wonderful assurance. Once you have started on this track, there is no way of going back. Anyone who makes an effort for moksha does not go to a bad end. Nahi kalyanakrit kachit durgatim tata gachati. Nahi kalyanakrit kachit durgatim tata gachati.
Durgatim tata gachati.
Oh, durgatim tata gachati. If at all there is any lapse, it will only be to enjoy. Okay, if at all there is any lapse, it only be to enjoy for a length of time some pleasant experiences created by one's punya. Then one will pick up the thread born in a place where there is a wealth and culture, or in the family of well-informed karma yogis, or in the family of well-informed karma yogis. Prapya punyakritan lokan ushitva sasvatihi samaha. Prapya punyakritan lokan uchitva sasvatihi samaha. Sushinam Srimatam Gehe Yoga Prashto Vijayate. Atava Yoginam Eva Kule Bhavati Tidit Matam. Bhavatit Matam.
Athava yoginam kule. What is that?
Atava Yoginam Iva Kule Bhavati
Dhimatam.
Dhimatam.
Yeah. So it is Prapya punya kritan lokan ushitva shashwati samaha suchinam shrimatam gehe yoga bhrashto bhijayate athava yoginam eva kule bhavati dhimatam.
Yeah. I know it's a long verse sentence. Yeah.
I think chapter 18 has a lot of such English transliterated slokas.
Yeah. That is from the 642. That verse, I think. Oh, actually there are two of them. Gita 41, 641, 642. There are a lot of references here. I should keep my Gita book next to me. There, one's mind will get connected to what one had gathered in one's previous body. Tatra purva dehikam buddhi samyoham labate. Something happens which triggers one to get connected to whatever was achieved in the previous body. So again, something happens which triggers one to get connected to whatever was achieved in the previous body. One picks up the whole thing with the sense that it is exactly what one is meant for. One loves what one does and thus pursues further and gains jnana. One will pick up the thread and continues one's journey, and therefore nothing is lost. Most of Arjuna's questions are simple, contextual questions. Only 3 or 4 are real. When he asked what the characteristics of a wise man are, Sita Pragnasya ka bhasha. Sita Pragnasya ka bhasha. That is the real question. Similarly, Arjuna asked this question at the beginning of the 3rd chapter. If you think knowledge is better than karma, why do you impel me to engage in this terrible action? This is another real issue. And in the 5th chapter, he asked the same thing in a different form. You praise both renunciation of action and yoga, Krishna. Please tell me which one of the two is better. Now, after all these chapters, he asked the same question in different words. He's so patient and answering all his questions. It's really nice. So basically, his question is, which is better, sannyasa versus karma yoga? And then the important question is, Sita Pragnasya ka bhasha. So can we review whatever we read so far? I don't know what time it is. 8:12. Or anything you want me to repeat it? I know I read it one time only. A lot of the questions are, we know pretty much this. So he asked the question from the 2nd chapter. The 18th chapter, the question is, what is the difference between sannyasa and tyaga? That's a question. But then he has been asking all kinds of questions, similar questions pretty much, except the 2nd chapter, the Chitta Prajna ka bhasha. Prajna ka, wow, how does Chitta Prajna walks and talks like that? And then the most of the question is about if what is karma yoga and jnana yoga and all that, what Lord Bhagavan Krishna has explained to him. And he asks, why you are pushing me to, if jnana is better than karma yoga, why are you pushing me to doing karma yoga? He again answers that question. You do the karma yoga without expectation of the results. And the devoted to, with the devotion, you that attitude of devotion to Ishvara. You do it that way and without expecting the results. That's a question. And then he goes on to, that's the chapter 4. He talks about Vivasvan. He had given this knowledge to Vivasvan. Then Arjuna says, well, you weren't born then. And he explains that he had taken many births for establishing dharma when the adharma predominates. Then also when he was saying sannyasa is better than the karma yoga, then he explains if people taking sannyasa, even though they give up the ritualistic actions and all that, but they not committed, like not doing it with the devotion, then they are not being a real sannyasi. So karma yoga is one person who
they do actions, but without an attitude of karma phala sannyasa. It's jnana karma phala sannyasa.
right. I mean, true. I mean, they initially he explains that sannyasa, like people who uh, give up or renounce their activities, but then they do their activities, karma sannyasa yoga, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
So it is not just renouncing action. It is not just renouncing the ritualistic actions. It is jnana karma sannyasa. You are renouncing the
Phala.
phala.
Yeah, expecting the
Jnane
results.
karma
Yeah.
sannyasa. Yeah.
Mm.
And in order, see, a person, and he also mentions, you cannot directly become a sannyasi, because if dukkham aptum ayogataha, if your person just takes to sannyasa, because that has been Arjuna's constant question, why are you putting me into action when you say sannyasa is you're talking of sannyasa, and why are you asking me to do this terrible action? So in his mind, Arjuna is still confused between karma yoga and sannyasa. For him, he thinks leaving the battlefield and just going to Rishikesh or Kashi, wherever, is the most appropriate for him in his mind at that point. But that is where Krishna says, if one is not qualified enough, dukkham aptum ayogataha, a person who takes to sannyasa without proper qualification, he only will end up in misery. So for that, therefore, karma yoga is required. For there are some people who are born sannyasis. The moment they are born, they take to sannyasa and things. That is different. But for all others, karma yoga is the way of life. Like Adi Shankaracharya he had done enough maybe in his previous janmas. So he was eligible to become a sannyasi. He became one. Therefore, Krishna goads him, Atishta Uttishta, and he tells him, go and fight. Because he knows Arjuna is not prepared yet for sannyasa. So doing what we have to do with an attitude of Ishwararpana buddhi and prasada buddhi. That is the way forward with bhakti. Of course, when you have Ishvara in mind, you can't help but have bhakti. That is the lifestyle of a karma yogi. Pursuing knowledge. Knowledge ultimately is the end for both of them. So that is what Krishna says. He says both of them reach the same. Sankhyancha, Yogancha. What was that thing?
Sankhya. Is it in the next paragraph? Wait. Sankyam cha yogam cha. Ekam. Ekam sankyam cha yogam cha.
Ekam Sankhyancha Yogancha. There is something after that.
Initially he said yat sankhyahi prapyate sthanam.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Sthanam
Yat Sankhyahi prapyate sthanam tad yogairapi gamyate. So even karma yogi ultimately also reaches the same end point. Sannyasi also reaches that. Because the end point ultimately, both for sannyasi as well as karma yogi, is jnana.
Right.
So it depends on your your swabhava, your what your tendencies are for you to take up either karma yoga or sannyasa. Anybody else wants to share? We have about 9-10 minutes. I know I'm a little. Bela, how are you placed? Are you still able to chant or sing?
The first shloka right now.
No, we've not come to the first shloka yet, right? We're still doing the introduction.
Right.
But,
the slokas that it's listed in this thing, right?
Yeah.
In the back. Okay. Let me. You have the book, biology?
No, I would want you to chant, sing the Gurudeva Tava as we conclude. Once we do the Shanti part, please, we'll end today's session with that beautiful song.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Hmm?
That's good.
If you can get the lyrics in the meantime, and then we'll do that. Anybody else wants to share anything before we?
This week is pretty much all the gurus' birthdays coming. Adi Shankar is on May 12th.
Shankara Jayanti is May 12th.
Vasavi
Gurudev's birthday is 13th.
Vasava Jayanti, and then somebody else, Ramanuja Jayanti, and next week, I think Monday or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think we should do the Guru Sustram. This, Buddha Purnima? Probably. May, yeah.
In May.
Yeah, 14 days from now. Today is
Yeah.
Amavasya, so 14 days.
Yeah.
All of them are born on such a hot sun.
Hot sun. Sun enters.
They are light, no?
Yeah.
And
fire
Arjuna
for
asked
transformation.
Arjuna asked, what if people who are on the path and they don't reach, what will happen to them? So then Krishna reassures him, saying, Suchinam Shrimatam Gehe Yoga Brashto Vijayate. So, according to the amount of effort he's put in, he will be born either in a house where there are karma yogis, or a place that is conducive for his further progress. And he will pick up the threads. He'll pick up the thread from where he left in the previous birth and continue. So, and something will happen. I mean, I think that's all our experience, isn't it? The way we came together.
This sloka is my comfort also.
The big cloud, leaving the cloudlet, how that example was given for this sloka, right? How he said, how are you going to leave that person dies earlier? There's a really comfort to know that, right? Little comfort, but we should really do it with all our effort. Put all the effort.
Only thing now, Brahmara is watching us, all of us. So unless we get wings, we are not going to get out of the cocoon.
We keep watching the Brahmara, then we'll be able to fly out with the wings.
We all have been watched by Ishvara, by Krishna. So the more we are in that Krishna consciousness, the more we are there, the sooner.
That is also true, right?
Achirenadi gacchati.
Achirenadi gacchati, right? Achirenadi gacchati.
So shall we conclude? We have 5 minutes left.
Yeah. We have the Guru Slokam.
Yeah, I think Bela will
sing it. Okay.
sing that, every time I hear that, I think it must be everybody's experience. It just brings tears of gratitude. And Veda is gifted with such a divine voice that there is so much of bhakti in every word that she sings and says. It is real.
nice.
She's a gopika, not gopi. Om loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om shanti shanti shanti. Om tat sat Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.
Dhanyavad Brahmaraji. It's only because of you, whatever I am today. It's only because of you. गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा मेरे जीवन का अवलंबन है बस एक यही मेरा बल है अज्ञान भरे संशय से भरे अज्ञान भरे संशय से भरे विपरीत विचारों से भी भरे अज्ञान भरे संशय से भरे विपरीत विचारों से भी भरे मन के अंधकार को दूर करे वचनामृत से तव बोध कृपा मन के अंधकार को दूर करे वचनामृत से तव बोध कृपा गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा पल पल पग पग जीवन पथ पर पल पल पग पग जीवन पथ पर गुरु साथ मेरे रक्षक बन कर पल पल पग पग जीवन पथ पर गुरु साथ मेरे रक्षक बन कर बिसरूं न कभी यह प्रेममयी आनंदमयी भवदीय कृपा बिसरूं न कभी यह प्रेममयी आनंदमयी भवदीय कृपा गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा मेरे जीवन का अवलंबन है बस एक यही मेरा बल है बस एक यही मेरा बल है गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा हरि ओम धन्यवाद
So beautiful.
Beautiful,
Could you
Balaji.
please share it in the group? Could you please sing and post it as an audio in the group, Belaji?
Can you
will
also
do
give
Thank
the meaning too? It'd be nice.
the
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
beautiful
Thank you very much, and we'll meet up tomorrow, huh? Jai Gurudev.
Very good.